Back brake's not working properly, the front brake's not working properly, there's no pedal braking either, plus the front tyre's going down. So all in all, this isn't going so well. Good morning and welcome to what is probably going to be a bit of a challenge video for me today, because I'm heading down to South London to pick up a Fixie and then ride it home 46 miles. Now, 46 miles is not a problem. That's not the challenge, that's not the issue. There are a number of problems that I face on this ride though. One is that I've never ridden a Fixie before, so that's going to be a challenge just in itself. Two is that I've got to ride it through London and back out the other side, back up to Essex. And as you may well know, London is in a basin. So on the way into London, it should be fine. It should be mainly downhill, but on the way back out, there's going to be quite a few hills. And the route that I'm looking at takes me through Epping Forest. And as we know, Epping Forest is extremely hilly. And my third and final issue is I'm having to take a backpack with me to carry all the gear that I'm going to need on the way back. Now, I have no idea what state this Fixie's in at the moment. I'll go into more detail on it in a minute, but I've had to bring loads of tools with me just in case I need to do a few roadside repairs when I pick it up, and I've had to bring my helmet and a few other bits and pieces, so a bag was an absolute necessity. As anyone who commutes to work will know though, riding with a backpack on any length of distance can be an absolute nightmare, so riding 46 miles home through London, yeah, I'm not too sure how I'm going to get on with this backpack, but first of all, let's get down to South London and pick up the bike. Right, well, I've made it to London. Now I just need to find a hire bike to get to London Bridge. Right, one train journey done, now for another one. Okay, so here's a little bit more about this whole situation. A few months ago, an old friend who I hadn't seen for quite some time got in touch out of the blue and said that he'd been really enjoying the videos and did I have a Fixie? When I replied that I didn't, but I had actually been actively looking for one, he responded saying, did I want the one that he bought during lockdown but couldn't really get on with? He said he didn't want anything for it, but he was just happy for it to go to a good home where it was going to get well used and well looked after. I couldn't say no to an offer like that, although I will be giving him a little something for the bike. Now, he did say the bike was pretty much brand new because he'd only ever ridden it twice before realising it wasn't really for him, and then left it in a shelter in the back garden. So because of that, he doesn't really know what mechanical state it's going to be in, and neither do I. However, I've brought a few tools along with me just in case there's anything major that needs to be done, but I'm hoping that the most it will need doing is the tyres pumping up, because after so long not being ridden, they will almost certainly have deflated. But I'm hoping that's actually all it needs. I've actually brought a proper old school spanner with me just in case the chain needs tensioning on the way home, which again I'm hoping it doesn't, but I've got the spanner just in case. But hopefully, fingers crossed, all will be well. Now, my friend did say that he didn't fancy being on camera, so I'm not going to film me picking it up, but once I have got it, I'll take it down the road, find somewhere that I can park up and have a little video of it so we can all have a look around it, check it over to make sure it's mechanically sound before I ride it the 46 miles home. So I guess now it's time to do one of those hand over the lens transition things. So here it comes. You ready? Right, well, I have the bike and here it is. So it's actually a collaboration bike between Munich, who I believe are a German sportswear brand, and MoMA, who are a German cycling brand. They make bicycles, but generally they make Dutch style city bikes. So this is a collaboration between the two, and so this, I gather, is actually quite a unique bike. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the tyres do need pumping up, that's understandable. There is a little bit more to it that probably needs doing as well. I've noticed that one of the brakes is a little bit loose on the screw, so I need to sort that out before riding it. And the left-hand brake, which, because this is set up for European riding, the front brake lever actually hits the drop bar before it engages, so I'm going to have to sort that out as well. And also the cable is a little bit sticky in the cable housing, so I'm going to have a little play around with the bike pump the tyres up. The chain is a little bit rusty, but I'm hoping that should get me home. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. I don't know whether I am actually going to be able to ride this yet. I may be getting the train home with this, but fingers crossed I can at least get it into central London and then get the train home from there. So let's set about fixing this Fixie. Right, well that's the tyres pumped up and I wanted to do that first, so while I'm working on everything else I can see if they are going to go down, see if they're going to hold air. It looks pretty good at the moment, so fingers crossed it stays that way and I don't have to take the wheel off and try and fix some kind of puncture. So yeah, on to the brakes. Well, I will just say this weather is looking increasingly grim. Over here, beautifully sunny and blue skies. Not so much over this side. It's rained a little bit so far. I'm hoping it doesn't get too much heavier than this because the ride home is not going to be very pleasant if it is. So yeah, let's get on with this quickly and get on the road, if we can. Okay, sit rep. I've not been able to undo the rear locking nut for the brake because I only have one spanner with me, so I can't hold one nut while undoing another one, and so the springs are just spinning around when I try to undo it. So that's one issue, I can't tighten up the back brake. The front tyre has gone down, it's not holding air, so I will have to try and patch that somehow. That isn't an issue, or at least it wouldn't be an issue if I could undo the front lug nuts on the wheel. Unfortunately, they seem to be some kind of plastic over metal construction, and so I don't have a set of grips or like a proper adjustable spanner that I can tighten down onto that to either tighten or loosen them. And so that's causing an issue with changing the tyre, because I can undo this right side one, but I can't undo the left side one. It's a little bit more than finger tight. And then finally, as I was repositioning the front brake, so I was tightening it up to make sure it didn't go any further this way and then start impacting on the drop bar again. As I was tightening it up, it sort of cracked. So if you match all three of those problems, the back brake's not working properly, the front brake's not working properly, it's on the free hub at the moment on the flip-flop side, so there's no pedal braking either, so effectively the brake doesn't have any fully functioning brakes, plus the front tyre's going down, I can't get the front tyre off. So all in all, this isn't going so well. So given the fact that it's also just about to pour down with rain as well, I think I'm going to quickly hightail it back to the train station and get this thing home on the train. Very sad, I would have loved to have ridden this home, but it's one of those things, and what can you do? I'll get it home, I'll fix it, and then we can go out on it. So I have to say, it is slightly disappointing that I don't get to ride this home. I was really looking forward to the challenge of doing that. Albeit with a slight amount of trepidation, but one of those things. It was a free bike from a friend, and I guess if I really think about it, it was a long shot, thinking that I could just come and pick it up, having not been ridden for about 2 years, and then just fix it up and ride it 50 miles home. However, it's still an absolutely beautiful bike, so by the time I've got it home and fixed up, it will ride like a dream, I'm sure. But for now, its destiny sits squarely on a train carriage.
See it, say it, sorted.
Right, hang on, the dream might not be dead. Right, what is it they say about necessity being the mother of all invention? Well, in this case, necessity was the mother of all determination, because I've had a little tinker about with the bike on the train. I managed to get that left-hand wheel nut undone, so I can now take the wheel off. I managed to tighten the rear brake caliper up from behind, so that's now tight, and so I may yet be able to ride this bike, but not all the way home. As I say, necessity was the fact that I've realised that I need to get from London Bridge to Liverpool Street. Now I could have walked here, but it's going to take about 25 minutes, and I don't quite fancy walking this bike all the way through the city just because I'd rather ride it. So I thought, being the determined kind of soul that I am, I thought I'd give it another go. So I'm going to try and change this tyre now, or at least patch it up, and then see if I can get it pumped up and ride it to Liverpool Street. Let's go. Actually, before I do that, these are the nuts that I was talking about earlier. These are the nuts for the front wheel and the rear wheels, and as I say, they seem to be like a plastic covered metal nut. Now I don't know, is the plastic cover supposed to come off of that? Is it supposed to pull off of that easily? If anyone knows, let me know in the comments, because yeah, at the moment I can only do these up hand tight, but let's hope again that that's enough just to get into Liverpool Street. Right, now let's get this inner tube repaired. Right, I found the culprit. There appears to be a number of tiny little holes near the back of the valve. So, quick patch up and hopefully we'll be on our way. Well, despite having just done all that, it turns out that the rubber cement in my punch repair kit doesn't work properly. It's gone off, so the patch isn't holding, and therefore the puncture remains. How many more things can go wrong on this journey? Oh well, it looks like I will be walking to Liverpool Street after all. Hang on though. Right, well, Evans have sorted me out. I've just managed to buy a couple of 700C inner tubes with 80mm valves on them, and I need 80mm because these look like 50mm aero wheels. Let's try this again. And I fully appreciate that by the time I've got this fixed, I probably could have just walked to Liverpool Street, but where's the sense of adventure in that, eh? So, yeah, I mean, get the bike fixed, let's ride it to Liverpool Street. I think that's, first and foremost, the best thing to do. I'm finally on the bike. It's fixed, well, fixed enough to get to Liverpool Street anyway. There are a few clunks and creaks coming from it, so yeah, I don't know whether I would trust it all the way home, but we're on the bike. Now I just need to hope those wheel nuts at the front don't come undone. I've made it in one piece, just. So that was incredibly sketch, because despite the fact that I managed to fix the back brake lever on the right hand side was still hitting the side of the drop bar. So it wasn't very effective. Thankfully I didn't pick up much speed, so it wasn't too bad, but having never ridden a Fixie before, I have a feeling that the brake levers are in the wrong place. I think they should be further up, closer to the stem, and so where they are at the moment, it's no surprise that they keep knocking into the side of the drop bar. Another problem I'll have to fix, but again, I'm not going to complain because it is a beautiful bike, and I want to thank Liam one more time because it's just stunning. It rides beautifully, and despite the fact that it still has a few issues that I need to work out of it, rides really smoothly. Lovely, lovely bike. So really looking forward to getting this one done up. And now at least that the puncture has been fixed, or at least I've put a new tube in, I'm going to get to ride it home as well, from the station, that is. Just from that short little journey though, it's shown me that riding a Fixie is going to be incredibly difficult. It's basically like setting off on a road bike in your top gear. So that's going to take a bit of getting used to, but it's going to be fun learning. Well, I'm finally back in my village, and now it's just the small matter of the 1 mile home. Will I be able to make it up Brewery Lane? That's the question. I'm reckoning no is going to be the answer, but you know, may as well finish this ride off with a ridiculous climb. Here we go. Oh my god. Hang on. Well, that hill is a 10% gradient. I made it, barely, but I genuinely didn't think I was going to. I instinctively started reaching for gears though, as it started getting difficult. Oh boy, this bike is going to take a lot of getting used to. And just going back to the brakes, or the brake levers at least. Again, part of the reason that I think that the brake levers are in the wrong place is that I can't even get my full hand on the tops, so they definitely need to be moved in further, and I'm fairly certain they should be right up by the stem. So finally back home, and that wasn't quite the ride I was expecting it to be, and instead of doing 46 miles I managed 6. But still, it's 6 miles that ordinarily I wouldn't have gotten in, so can't complain too much. And I've ended up with an absolutely beautiful fixed speed bike, so I'm not going to complain too much. I've already gone through a number of the issues that I've got with this bike, none of them insurmountable, but it does need a little bit of work doing it to it now, chief of which is this broken brake lever. And then I will have to do a proper fix on the rear brake calipers. The front brake calipers will probably need looking at as well, and then moving the brake levers inwards. And then anything else I come up with, obviously the chain is a little bit rusty, and the rear cassette, I don't know, do you call it a cassette on a Fixie? I don't know, is it just a cog? There's only one thing there, so the rear cog is a bit rusty as well. But I'll throw that into some Evaporust and that will get rid of that, buy myself a new chain. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, I know I keep saying it, but it is an absolutely beautiful bike, essentially for free. As I say, I did give my friend a little bit of something for it, which he didn't want to take. He was insistent that he just wanted it to go to a good home and be well looked after, which I can guarantee you it will be. And you may well see it coming out in future videos once I've had a few rides on it myself and got used to riding it, because I have to tell you, the 6 miles that I did through London and then that 1 mile just coming home there, yeah, that's done me. It's time to go in and get something to eat. So yeah, thanks for watching this drama-filled ride that should have been so easy, but not easy, but then turned even less easy. But you can't have everything. It's all about the adventure, right? But thanks very much for watching, guys, as ever, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.